Alright, here we go. Another matinee edition of the post-game show. CP, Ashley Moss, JL of the Nick of Time show. We almost didn't want to hit the music. Somebody in the chat said hit the music but turn it down a notch. Because it was that ugly. Ashley called it a 90s style Knicks game. And it was just that. You had two 90s style coaches cut from the same tree. Two of the worst offenses in the league in a matinee game. That's a recipe for disaster, and that's what we got, man. Knicks get the W still. We'll take it. 91-84, but not before building a brick house on Park Avenue with the Magic. They take a 14-point lead going into the fourth quarter, and everything falls apart. Magic defense starts to turn up. They turn up on quickly. Pressure quickly on the ball. They put Ennis on him, switch James Ennis on him. Tibbs takes him out, goes back to the starters. Magic cut this thing all the way down and take a 1-point lead with a minute and 40 seconds left. But it was RJ, it was Julius, it was the big dogs of the Knicks that put it away, man. Ugly one, but we'll take it. Back-to-back wins. First time in 3 years that the Knicks have swept a back-to-back. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like I said, we'll take it, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button for your squad. JL's kick us off with some game recap, bro.
Man, first and foremost, your boy RJ Barrett is coming back like gangbusters. You heard all the chatter and it was like, screw this noise. I'm dropping another 20 double on your head. You know what I'm saying? So he finished with the double on some clutch baskets. Layup game was good. I like the way he started off the game, especially, man. It seemed like Tibbs was kind of, you know, he's been emphasizing the fast break lately, and we still haven't had the fast break points we wanted. Only 8 on the day, but I feel like RJ Barrett took it upon himself to ignite the fast break by himself. I feel like he had probably almost all the fast break points himself. Started off the game shooting a mid range in the fast break, ended the game going to the hole. And I felt like RJ Barrett combined with Julius Randle, even though he didn't shoot well. Got to the foul line a lot, man. Got to the foul line a lot. The combination of Randle and RJ and getting to the line and points in the paint is what carried the Knicks today. 42 points in the paint for the Knicks today, and got to the line 34 times to 16 for the Magic.
Ash, they've been slandering your boy lately, man. It's been a lot of trash talk on young Rowan, but last 4 games, 20 points, 5 boards, 3 dimes, 46%. 20 points, 4 rebounds, 3 dimes, 58%. Yesterday in Boston, 19 points, 11 boards, double-double, 3 dimes, 45%, and another double-double today, 22, 10, 4 dimes, 47%. Talk about your boy RJ, man. It's time to put some respect on his name.
Listen, no RJ slander will be tolerated from this point forward, okay? You know how I feel about my boy, and he showed you what kind of player he can be. And listen, I know everyone's saying it's an ugly win. I don't mind a gritty win. I like to see some grit in my teams. And the Knicks, AKA the New York Grits, showed us exactly what type of gritty team they can be when necessary. And I love it. A lot of defense, and I say this all the time, defense is your best offense when your offense is not clicking. And there was a lot of points in that game. Shots were not falling. Your offense was not there the way you would prefer it to be, but your defense kept you in the game. And your defense always travels with you. No matter where you go, no matter where you play, you can always play defense. And the Knicks showed us that today. I think it wasn't the prettiest win, but I think it says a lot about the character of this team, the type of team that they can be, the type of team that they should be. Yeah. And these are the wins you're supposed to get. We talk about this all of the time. We talked about it when we played Cleveland. We talked about it when we played OKC. These are the wins you're supposed to get. You're supposed to defend your home court. Yeah. You're supposed to defend your territory. And especially when a team is missing some key pieces, when they're not 100%, you're supposed to capitalize on that. And that's what the Knicks did today. And I'm happy. I'm really happy. Me and my ponytail brought the luck again. So I'm in a good space.
Back to back, man. And as you said, the defense carried them. It's the same thing as yesterday. Defense carried them. Boston wasn't on their A game. This Magic team, this offense has been struggling after starting out hot. Yeah, I mean, these two teams are pretty much similar. Same coaching style. Both started out hot. Magic jumped out to a 6-3 start to the season. Knicks 5-3 start. Their offenses has come back to the pack. But as you said, Magic are now down Markelle Fultz. They've been down Jonathan Isaac from last year, so definitely a depleted team, a playoff team, but definitely a depleted team. So great job by the Knicks, just bringing that energy early and hanging on late. And JLs, quickly again was the story today. Second quarter came in once again, changed the whole pace of the game. Floater was back on the money, just running the offense very well. But this was an interesting dynamic here because in the fourth quarter, he started off hot, caught Obi with the Gotham lob.
Yep.
But then they switched Ennis on him. They start pressuring him with Ennis and Gordon and start taking him out of his game. All of a sudden, Tibbs takes him out, goes back to Payton to close it. What do you think about, Quickly's overall game and how that transpired in the fourth quarter?
It's growing pains. I feel like it's a two-parter, right? First of all, he has to get used to seeing different defenses. Like the first step is doing your thing, killing the people with your flow of the games. The league starts to adjust, and then after the league adjusts, then you have to adjust as well. So that's what's happening today. I'm not hold anything against Quickly. It's just is what it is today. But I also feel like the flow of the game was weird, because we got off to a really good start, and the second unit really started to put the foot on their necks. And then they didn't play the entire third quarter. I get, Tom's game plan there because he felt like, the momentum with the first unit was going so well. They built that lead. He's trying to stay with them. But I do feel like the combination of the Magic switching their defense and B, Quickly and those guys just being out of sync because they haven't played the whole quarter after being hot.
Yeah.
Kind of put some water on that fire, and that's why they went back to the first unit, and the first unit was gassed in that fourth quarter. They credit to the first unit; they were gassed because they played the whole third quarter, and it was an ugly win. But they played in the moments that mattered, and that's why the Knicks got the win today.
Yeah, and I think also this speaks to why Tibbs is kind of on the fence and hasn't made the full commitment to starting IQ completely because he is still up and down. And with your point, you want some consistency. You want more games where you know what you're going to expect versus games that you don't. And I still think Quickly is trying to figure it out. I still think he has games where 1 minute it's like, this is the guy. And the next game, it's like, maybe it's the guy. So I think when he starts getting some consistency in his game, you really start to see him starting a lot more in that first unit than we're seeing now.
Yeah, that's a fact. And it's so funny that this situation happened today after yesterday's game because this was exactly what me and Q Rich were talking about yesterday in terms of player development and, fans being impatient with the coach and their rotations. The similar gripes that we have with Tibbs, if you guys do research on Steve Clifford, the Orlando coach, like I said, cut from the same Van Gundy tree, it's a similar issues that the Orlando beat and Orlando fans have with Clifford. Being slow to make adjustments, sticking to his guns, and being stubborn in how he brings young players along. And Quentin Richardson's point was, these coaches are probably putting these kids into situations where they feel like they can best succeed, as in bringing them off the bench. They were planning to bring Cole Anthony in slowly, but after the Fultz and Michael Carter-Williams injury, they propped him into the starting lineup. As you saw today, he's been struggling for most of the regular season, period.
Yeah.
So, again, and then you see the situation where Quickly comes in the fourth, that pressure defense is his Achilles heel, and the game kind of started changing. Magic picked up momentum at that point, and so Tibbs had to go back to Payton. Oh, Jay, sorry, Jay, I was scared. I thought Jay was going to say something, so I paused.
Me
My fault.
too.
Go ahead, I crossed myself up, man. All good. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, you know what? And you know what, Tom Thibodeau, he has a he knows what he's doing, right? He has the 11th best winning percentage of any coach in the NBA, so he knows what he's doing. I can't complain with the overall development of this team and of the young guys. We've seen development from every guy that we want to see it from, at least the ones that are healthy. So I can't really complain too much. I mean, I'm still going to have my views on certain things, even if he's not starting, which I can understand why he's not starting. I still do feel like I still feel like he should ride the wave of the youth when they're going. And I still do feel like he doesn't trust them when they get going versus when the first
Yeah.
unit gets going. Like, and I think today was a good example. When the first unit got going today, he was not taking him out the game.
True.
There was a few games ago when the second unit was going and he just subbed everybody out.
Yeah.
And that's when the game got away from us. And I think, to me, that's, even if you're not going to start him, at least ride the hot hand when it's going. If you're going to do that for the first unit, especially considering that the first unit plays so many minutes, I think you should do it for the second unit as well.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, man. Definitely interesting to see how that played out. Back to RJ, man. Like I said, man, I loved his game. Kept it on the inside. You know, Ash, you were talking about him, you know, taking less threes. Only took 3 threes tonight. Went 9 to 19 from the field. There's a lot of mid-range, a lot of bully ball, getting to it. But as I always want to see with him, 4 or 4 from the free throw line. And my guy Sean Shepard, big up my guy Sean Shepard out there in LA. He texted me, he was like, what a difference a year makes when you see RJ at the line and you're kind of confident now that he's going to knock down his free throws. So this is an RJ game. This is the type of game that you're going to see from RJ. And I mean, you look at the stats, you can't knock it, man. Can't knock it.
Yeah, and this is RJ's bread and butter, which is what he needs to continue to do, driving it to the rim, getting those layups, using his athletic ability to kind of get, you know, as Clyde likes to say, slice and dice in between defenders. And you don't have to rush the three-pointer. You don't have to be out there shooting 30-footers. Until you start developing a mid-range game, just do what you can do. And this is RJ's niche. This is where he's successful, and you can see it. And when he's in his bag doing what he knows how to do, it's only beneficial to this team. And it really gave Randall the help that he needed. If you looked at the last game, although the game before last, the Cavs game, Randall had no help out there. He was struggling. He was out. He was a one-man band out there by himself. He was essentially playing 1-on-5. Today, with RJ doing what he knows how to do and knows how to do well, you take some of that weight off. You take some of that weight off of Randall, and you're allowed to kind of get into the game with him, kind of go ahead, and the offense moves better. Everything was just clicking when more players get involved. Do what you know how to do until you develop something else you can add to your game. There's no shame in that.
True story. And you know what? Him and Randall seem to be, you know, the chemistry's growing between the two of them. I liked how they were playing off of each other, especially in the first half. Overall, the ball movement and the player movement was great in the first half. It stagnated in the closing minutes. You know, third, fourth quarter really stagnated, and that's what kind of brought the Magic back into the game. JL, so you gonna say something?
Nah, I totally agree with you, and no long soliloquy here, just fatigue, man. Like, it was straight up.
Julius was gassed.
Yeah, Julius was really gassed, but I commend Julius because you see, he was giving me like some Mitchell Robinson vibes from today, like yesterday, right? Where you saw like he just looked completely out of it, shoulders hung low, gassed. Yeah. And then Vucic would shoot a 3 and he would hustle for those 3 seconds, block the ball, and then go back to, all right, let me try to catch my breath and get back down on offense. Like, that's the type of game that we was watching today. We was just conserving the energies for the most important moments, and it worked out for us today. Hopefully we get some more from the bench next time. Hopefully we're able to get more rhythm from the bench time, just to you know, conserve these guys on games like this when we have back-to-backs.
Yeah, a little
and
bit.
Also the fatigue is expected. I mean, you're playing back-to-back games, and they weren't easy games. I mean, although the first game against the Celtics, it was easy in the sense of like the Celtics did not show up. The Knicks still played hard, and they played extremely hard today. And in the Cavs game, even though they lost, they played extremely hard. So, I mean, they've had a stretch of games where they really pushed themselves. Some have obviously gone in their favor, and some have not. But this is going to be a much-needed rest that's coming up for these guys, and they're going to be able to rejuvenate and get themselves together. Hopefully, the time off only helps their bodies and does not revert them to old ways, and we keep the win train going.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the fatigue is expected. The guys played hard, and like I said, an ugly win, a gritty win, but a win is a win, and I'll take it. My
guy Mitch been gutting it out, man, past 2 games. I mean, he's been out there with a mean limp, but he's battling. You know, the Vucevic and Mitch battle was very intriguing to me. I thought first half, you know, Mitch definitely held his own. And he got on the boards, 10 boards today. I mean, I've seen some offensive rebounds where he snatched the board over Vucevic and Aaron Gordon and then slammed it on him. So that's what you want to see from Mitch, man. Controlling those rebounds, controlling those second chance opportunities, and giving his team a chance, man. My guy Mitch is really gutting it out, man. So salute to Mitch for sure.